Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Quran and Science, the channel where we explore the amazing scientific miracles in the Quran. In this episode, we will talk about blood circulation and how the Quran described this vital process centuries before modern science discovered it. Blood circulation is the movement of blood throughout the body, delivering oxygen and nutrients to the cells and organs, and removing waste products and carbon dioxide. The heart is the main organ that pumps blood through a network of blood vessels, such as arteries, veins, and capillaries. The blood also carries hormones and immune cells that regulate various functions and fight diseases. The importance of blood circulation for life is evident from the fact that Allah created all living things from water and blood. Allah says in the Quran, "And we have created every living thing from water. And of them are some that move on their bellies, and of them are some that walk on 2 legs, and of them are some that walk on 4. Allah creates what He wills. Indeed, Allah is over all things competent." Quran 24:45. "And certainly did we create man from an extract of clay. Then we placed him as a sperm drop in a firm lodging. Then we made the sperm drop into a clinging clot, and we made the clot into a lump of flesh, and we made from the lump bones, and we covered the bones with flesh. Then we developed him into another creation. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators." Quran 23:12-14. This is a remarkable description of the stages of human embryonic development, which modern science has confirmed. The clot of blood, or alaq in Arabic, is the stage when the embryo attaches to the wall of the uterus and forms the placenta, which is the organ that connects the mother and the fetus and allows blood circulation between them. The Quran also mentions the function of the heart as the center of blood circulation. Allah says, "Then He causes his death and provides a grave for him. Then when He wills, He will resurrect him. No, man has not yet accomplished what He commanded him. Then let mankind look at his food, how we poured down water in torrents. Then we broke open the earth, splitting it with sprouts, and caused to grow within it grain and grapes and herbage and olive and palm trees and gardens of dense shrubbery and fruit and grass as enjoyment for you and your grazing livestock. But when there comes the deafening blast on the day, a man will flee from his brother and his mother and his father and his wife and his children." These verses describe the day of judgment, when people will be resurrected and face their deeds. The verses also mention the blessings of Allah in providing food and water for mankind and animals. The verses also use the word nafki, which means blast or blow, to refer to the sound of the trumpet that will announce the end of the world. This word is also used in other verses to describe the process of breathing, which is related to blood circulation. Allah says, "So when I have proportioned him and breathed into him of my created soul, then fall down to him in prostration." Quran 15:29. "And He is the one who created from water a human being and made him a relative by lineage and marriage. And ever is your Lord competent concerning creation." Quran 25:54. These verses show that Allah breathed into man of His soul and that He created man from water. Both of these statements imply that blood circulation is a sign of life and a gift from Allah. The word nafk also implies that the air we breathe is connected to the blood we circulate, as the lungs are the organs that exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air and the blood. The Quran also mentions the function of the blood vessels as the pathways of blood circulation. Allah says, "Indeed, we have created man from a sperm drop mixture that we may try him, and we made him hearing and seeing. Indeed, we guided him to the way, be he grateful or be he ungrateful." Quran 76:2-3. The word mixture or amshaj in Arabic means a combination of different elements. Some scholars have interpreted this word to mean the mixture of the male and female fluids that form the zygote, the first cell of the human being. Others have interpreted it to mean the mixture of the blood and the interstitial fluid, which is the fluid that surrounds the cells and tissues. Both of these interpretations are correct, as the blood and the interstitial fluid are the main components of the extracellular fluid, which is the fluid outside the cells. The extracellular fluid is essential for blood circulation, as it allows the exchange of nutrients, gases, hormones, and waste products between the blood and the cells. The word amshaj also implies that the blood vessels are not simple tubes, but complex structures that have different layers and functions. The blood vessels are composed of 3 layers: the inner layer, or the endothelium, which is a thin layer of cells that line the inside of the vessels and regulate blood flow and pressure. The middle layer, or the tunica media, which is a thick layer of smooth muscle and elastic tissue that contract and relax to change the diameter of the vessels, and the outer layer, or the tunica externa, which is a layer of connective tissue that supports and protects the vessels. The blood vessels also have different types and sizes, such as arteries, veins, and capillaries, which have different roles in blood circulation. The Quran also mentions the function of the liver as the organ that filters and purifies the blood. Allah says, "And indeed, for you in grazing livestock is a lesson. We give you drink from what is in their bellies between excretion and blood, pure milk, palatable to drinkers." Quran 16:66. This verse shows that Allah produces milk from the blood and the digestive fluids of the cattle. The milk is pure and pleasant to drink, unlike the blood and the digestive fluids, which are impure and unpleasant. This implies that there is a process of filtration and purification that takes place in the body of the cattle, and this process is mainly done by the liver. The liver is the largest internal organ in the body, and it has many functions, such as producing bile, which helps digest fats, storing glycogen, which is a form of glucose that provides energy, synthesizing proteins, which are the building blocks of the body, and detoxifying the blood, which means removing harmful substances such as alcohol, drugs, and toxins. The Quran also mentions the function of the spleen as the organ that stores and recycles the blood. Allah says, "And recall when you said, 'O Moses, we can never endure one kind of food. So call upon your Lord to bring forth for us from the earth its green herbs and its cucumbers and its garlic and its lentils and its onions.'" Moses said, "Would you exchange what is better for what is less? Go into any settlement, and indeed, you will have what you have asked." And they were covered with humiliation and poverty and returned with anger from Allah upon them. That was because they repeatedly disbelieved in the signs of Allah and killed the prophets without right. That was because they disobeyed and were habitually transgressing. Quran 261. His verse tells the story of the children of Israel, who were ungrateful to Allah and asked Moses to change the food that Allah had provided for them in the desert. They wanted to eat the vegetables of the earth instead of the manna and quails that Allah had sent down from the sky. Allah granted their request, but He also punished them with humiliation, poverty, and anger. Some scholars have suggested that one of the reasons for their punishment was that they harmed their spleens by eating too much of the vegetables, especially the garlic and the onions, which are known to cause anemia and spleen enlargement. The spleen is an organ that is located under the left rib cage, and it has several functions, such as storing and releasing blood, especially in cases of bleeding or low oxygen levels, producing and destroying red blood cells, which carry oxygen and carbon dioxide, and producing and storing white blood cells, which fight infections. These are some of the examples of how the Quran described the process of blood circulation and its relation to the organs of the body long before modern science discovered it. This is a clear proof that the Quran is the word of Allah, the creator and the sustainer of the universe, and that Muhammad's messenger who conveyed the message of Islam to mankind. We ask Allah to increase our knowledge. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey into the blood circulation through the lens of the Quran. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube and Facebook channel. Feel free to comment below with your thoughts and any topics you'd like us to explore in future videos. Until next time, may the blessings of Allah be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.